Hello, my name is John. I'm the exercise specialist at Bluepoint Surgical Group. This is Jennifer Homendy. She's one of our past bypass patients who's been very, very successful. We're going to sit down, talk about some of the process, the things that she went through to help her be as successful as she is, what she continues to do, and what motivates her to further better herself, with exercise and diet. So she had the bypass. How long ago was that?
That was on December 22nd, 2010.
Okay. How much weight have you lost up until this point?
148 pounds.
148 pounds. Do you know any of the sizes of what you started with?
Yes. I started at a 24, occasionally a 26, but 24, and I'm a size 6 now.
A size 6.
Some clothes I could wear a 4, but mostly a size 6.
Now, would you say that one of the biggest issues was you lost more inches than weight, or would you say weight was kind of relatable to the inches that you've lost?
I don't know the answer to that. I was tracking my weight the whole time. In fact,
Right.
I still have it on my wall in my bathroom from the time I started. I don't know. I never tracked my inches. I should have done that, but I didn't really track it.
Okay.
I'm sure it was a lot because I would find that even in the months where I sort of plateaued, there were a couple months where I would maybe lose, 5 pounds, which for gastric bypass patients, you're expecting more because you started with more. Of course, you're also smaller than when you started, so you have to take that into account. But I found that I would continually lose dress sizes, even though the scale wasn't going down a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did the surgery give or do for you that you had trouble with before?
I think that I used food. I had a hard time controlling food for me, controlling myself and my intake of food. I personally believe I was addicted to food. I used it as sort of my emotional substance abuse. I went through a lot of drive-thrus. I would eat 2 value meals at a drive-thru, pretend with my list that I was ordering for others, and I was not. But I ate. I was happy, sad, no matter what. I ate through it, and because of that, I never wanted to work out. Not only because I was tired, but then I felt horrible, and I didn't really want to hang out at a gym or be outside doing anything because I felt like I looked awful. So it was just this vicious cycle all the time.
Okay.
So I really felt like I couldn't control it on my own. I needed help doing that. And, for me, I had really been on every program out there, and I think everybody who walks through this door probably has.
Right.
And it just, for me, did not work. I'd be fine for a couple weeks on the program, and then it was like I almost relapsed.
Right.
And here it created that control for me. So while I had the surgical control, I took full advantage of the mental support system that Bluepoint provides through Jan Ford, and I still go to the Tuesday night groups.
Right.
And then quickly learned that I needed to also take advantage of exercising to get the pounds off, but then it became, I actually enjoyed it. So it was sort of this evolution the whole way.
It was another cycle, but a positive one.
Yeah.
Okay. In your opinion, what do you feel is the most important factor with being, a long-term success with these surgical procedures?
Well, outside the support system, whether it's family, friends, or going to the Bluepoint group, because I do think you have to figure out why mentally you were overeating. What is it that caused you to overeat? Did you just like food? Was it an emotional thing? And I think you have to overcome that to get your head straight, and I think you need to do that during that honeymoon period after this is about the first 2 years after surgery. Take advantage of that. But then I think honestly, exercise. And I spent my whole life, somebody would tell me, oh, you should exercise. And I did always like to be somewhat active, like I always wanted to be. But, you know, it became oh yeah, I know, exercise more, you know, when my doctors would say something, or I'd go see a personal trainer, and I'd just sort of roll my eyes, yep, gotta exercise, I'll go out there and walk, you know. And it was just, you know, but I do believe it's key, like, calories in, calories out, and it can be fun, you know. I think learning to find something you enjoy, and then learning to enjoy it, you know, I think is key.
Yeah, I think most people are kind of under the conception of the stereotypical exercise, you know, gym memberships, and they have to do certain things, you know, a certain way, and it is about just finding something that you enjoy, other than just the benefit of a weight loss result. Because I think that's kind of the issue for most, is right out of the gate after surgery, it changes from, okay, I need to do this as a lifestyle change, to, you know, be healthy, to, okay, what's the quickest way I can lose weight? Yep. And usually that's not the most funnest.
Right. And I think, exactly, and I even hear from the newer patients now, oh, I hate to go to the gym, I hate to do this, and I try to tell them, is there anything you ever wanted to do, or what is it you like? Like, there was a woman who said, well, I really like this hula hooping thing, you know. I said, well, if you like it, that's what you do. Don't try to, you know, fit a square peg, you know, don't try to fit it in, just do what you like. Like, did you always want to go horseback riding? Did you want to play tennis? Whatever it is, pick it, you know, and it's almost an opportunity to sort of say, oh, you know, I'm going to be thinner, this is a new life, maybe I can try something I always wanted to do when I was a teenager, you know. You know, in midlife, you know, you could always do that, you know, it gives you sort of that opportunity to do that again anyways. So.
Okay. How did you start with exercise? You know, what was that kind of progression, you know, with exercise, your starting point and that kind of motivation to?
Well, I was of course, coming out of the box, coming out of surgery, you're losing 20 pounds a month for the first couple months for bypass patients. Then you kind of go down to 10. And, you know, I always went to the monthly groups. And I remember in the monthly group around month 3, where I was hearing people's weight loss who had surgery around the time I did. And I thought, oh, well, they're losing more than me. Now, of course, I look back at the time and think, okay, we were all different sizes, we all have different, you know, weight loss, and our bodies are all different, but, you know, I sat there and I thought, I gotta start, like, working out, because my diet was fine, you know, and I said, I need to start moving, you know, because I'm not, you know, I'm not pulling the numbers they are, you know. Of course, obviously that doesn't make sense now, but, you know, it did at the time. And so I looked at it as, what did I want to do? And I came from a family who were runners, and I went to their, not a lot, not like big, my father was a big runner, and my sister a little bit. My brother was a competitive biker, and I said, and I always went to the races thinking, oh, I want to do that someday. So that was exactly what I thought. I said, the 3 things I want to do is I finally want to learn to play tennis, I'd like to go back horseback riding, and I'd like to run. And I thought, but for me it was, I needed a goal, like, just, oh, I'm going to go out and walk, or I'm going to go out and run, was just not going to happen. You know, so I needed to pick something that was going to get me there. So I don't know how I found it, but I found that the Marine Corps half marathon was going to be that May, and they had a 5K, Semper Fred 5K. And I said, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn to go from walking to running. And maybe I couldn't do the 5, and I couldn't run that 5K, but I was walking really fast. And I'm going to follow a training program to get me there. And I did. And I followed the training program to a T, but it was always in my mind, I was training for something. It was never, I'm working out. It was,
a point.
oh, I'm training for this race. And somehow I mentally, you know, talked myself into, oh, this isn't a workout. I'm preparing for this race, and I went out there and did the race, and when I crossed the finish line, I kind of looked over at the half marathoners, and they had these big medals and Marines congratulating them, and I said, oh, I'm coming back next year for the half marathon. And so then I just started taking more races. And eventually that July of 2011, I went out one day and I realized, okay, I'm running more than I'm walking because I did intervals. Mm-hmm. And I said, I wonder how long I could run without walking. Because that day I had 4 miles, and I ran the whole way. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not walking anymore. So the only time I walk now is for my warm-up. And maybe a cool down, but that's it. Yeah. And so now it's become fun. Now, instead of it being, oh, well, I have to have this goal, yeah, I have these goals, but now it's more, oh, I want to do this race, or I read this race is really cool, or, this has great sights, or this is on my top 10. Now it's a competitive thing, and I'm enjoying it. So, okay. And honestly, and I did take up horseback riding and tennis, but then I felt like, I learned through the lessons, I didn't want to take a chance at horseback riding of hurting my ankles, because I was like, oh, but I really like running. I can't hurt that. Right. And so I was like, oh no, I don't want any injuries. So I stopped for what I really liked, right. Which was running. I try to tell people, find what you like and pick a goal. Pick a goal that's not about weight loss. And right. It's not about dress size. Pick something else. Whether it's a race or something else, or I don't know what, but not about the weight loss.
Yeah. And I think even in my, personal career of lifting and things like that, goal setting has been huge because, you have a purpose, you have something that you're working towards, and without that, you don't have a direction, and you get to a certain point where on the days where you don't have a lot of motivation, it's very easy to say, well, what am I really working for? What is the purpose? And if you have something that you're working towards, you have some sort of purpose or something that you're getting ready for, it's easy to find that motivation and kind of be, well, I have this coming up, I have to get ready for this. And that helps a lot. Because even being a competitor, there's days where you just don't want to do it.
That's right.
But it's a lot easier to kind of fight through that when you're getting ready for something and you're planning for something.
Can't be unprepared.
Now, from an emotional standpoint and physically, what do you believe exercise has done and given you?
Well, physically, obviously it's helped me lose weight and get in shape. But emotionally, it's, I can't describe it other than the word freedom for me. I feel very free when I'm running. There's not this burden of, in addition to the excess weight, I do not have, I take a preventative inhaler. I do not take my rescue inhaler. I have the same, when I used to exercise, or just in my daily life prior to the bypass surgery, I used to take my asthma inhaler 5 times a day. I have the same inhaler that I had since the surgery. I've never gotten a new inhaler. Like, half the time I can't even find it. My friends knew that it was attached to me. Right. And now I just don't even know where it is half the time. I do try to find it when I go away for a race, just in case. Right, yeah. But